Hi, this is Jessica, and in this video, we're going to be talking about how learning actually happens and what you need to do in order to get information in your head in such a way that it becomes knowledge, not just disconnected bits of information, but something that you actually know. So, before we get into the meat of things, please go get a piece of paper, a notebook, or scrap paper of some kind. Please pause this video, get your paper, and come back. Got it? Okay, good. So, the first thing that I want to share with you are some common misconceptions about how learning happens. So, learning is not simply the transfer of information. In other words, if I tell you something that you didn't know, my telling you doesn't mean that you've learned it. We are constantly bombarded with information every day from the internet, TV, from our friends, our teachers, from the radio, and we don't even remember a fraction of it. This is because no one can transfer knowledge to you. Only information or data can be transferred. But knowledge is a process of construction, and that process happens in your brain. So, in order for you to learn something, you have to engage the material that you want to learn at a high level and in a particular kind of way. And we're going to talk about that in just a minute. But first, we are going to do a little exercise. So here's a code based on the integers. So this symbol over here represents the numeral 1. This code corresponds to the number 2. This code corresponds to 3, and so forth and so on. Please take 5 seconds to memorize this code. All right. Now, let's see how you did. So on your piece of paper, please write the symbols for these integers: 6, 1, 3, 7, 9, and 5. All right, here is the code of integers. Once again, you can check your paper against the code and see how well you did. Now, most people do fairly poorly on this exercise. Some people remember 7 because it kind of looks like a 7. Some people remember 5 because it's a box. But generally speaking, it is very difficult to input and retain this set of information. So let's talk about why for a minute. Your brain pretty much sucks at remembering random bits of information. So when you have no context for understanding something, it's not going to stick. Now, the context that allows something to stick is made up of stuff you already know. So learning is what happens when you connect something you don't know to stuff you already know. Here, you'll find the exact same set of information constructed in such a way that it connects with something you already know. So here we have the symbol for the number 1. Here we have the symbol for the number 2. You can see that 5 is circumscribed by a box. 7, the symbol for 7 looks like a 7, and so forth. So if I gave you 5 seconds to remember the symbols in this form, you would have no problem. If I gave you 1 second to remember it, if I gave you a fraction of a second to remember it, you would be able to do so. This is because the data is represented in such a way that it is connected with something that you already know, the tic-tac-toe board. So the next time you want to learn something, you should figure out a way to connect it to something that you already know. There are a number of ways to do that, and we will talk about them in future videos. I hope you enjoyed this, and if you liked it and found it interesting, please share it with your friends, your family, your students, children, grandchildren, and so forth. I look forward to doing these with you in the future, and have a great day.